Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report. Looking at the US-Japanese yen pair, this pair closed up today, did form an inside bar, so definitely look for a breakout to occur. We are looking for this pair to potentially go as high as 95.11, possibly as low as 93.20. Look for some resistance around 94.75 and look for some support around 93.75. This particular pair is moving sideways with a bias that is sideways. Let's take a look at the Euro USD. This particular pair closed down for the third session in a row. Definitely looking for this pair to continue moving sideways with a bias heavily to the downside. Look for this pair to potentially move as high as 144.34, possibly as low as 141.26. Look for some resistance around 142.88 and look for some support around 142.00. Now, switching to the pound US dollar pair, this pair moved lower, closed lower, broke some fairly strong support moving to the downside, so we have a strong bias to the downside at this point. Look for this pair to potentially go as high as 164.59 if it were to reverse, and as low as 160.46. Look for some resistance around 163.39 and look for some support around 161.57. Now let's switch over to the US Swiss. This pair closed up today. It is moving higher. We talked earlier in the week about going in. We could have a fairly strong reversal in this pair. And that has occurred, moving up several hundred pips. Bias is still moving sideways with currently because of the overall trend that this pair is if you back out a good ways, it's moving sideways. Now look for this pair to potentially move as high as 1.0783, possibly as low as 10511. Look for some resistance around 1.0727 and look for some support around 1.0639. Now, as far as news announcements goes, we have the Euro releasing their German CPI tomorrow. No consensus as to when. The consensus on year to date is that or for this month, sorry, is going to be negative 0.5% to negative 0.2%. Look for this pair as far as year to date moving from negative 0.70% to negative 0.40%. The U.S. has their gross domestic product for the second quarter being released at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Consensus on that is that we've moved from negative 1% to negative 1.5%, which would be negative news for the U.S. dollar. Year to date, as far as that goes, looks like it's moving from 0.20% or is holding at 0.20%. So that about does it for our news announcements. If you noticed yesterday, the pound Japanese yen trade that we were looking at definitely broke and moved about 114 pips down, did hit our targets on that. What I'm looking for during this next session, it's a little bit shorter trade as far as how much, what we're looking at here. If you notice, we have some pretty strong support at this level. We've had it. If you notice, we have support here, and during this one, this little range right there, we've definitely hit that area before. I do believe that when we move lower, we could hit that again. We hit it during this session's low. So we've hit it a past couple of times within this range. Now, I do believe if we get a break below this trend line that we will see it hit the 1.4207 point. This is about 25 pips at this point between here and here. So you could easily pull 15 to 20 pips out of this move. Definitely keep an eye on it. Definitely take a look at it. There is another little bit you could put into play if you wanted to, and this one's a little bit, if you notice, this trend line gets us a little bit lower, pretty much at the same area. It's still above the 1.4200 mark, which I do believe would be a very strong place of support. So definitely keep an eye on this. I do believe we can get these 22 to 25 pips right there. So that's a trade you can take a look at during this next session. Well, that about does it for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.